birthday, Ellison. It's your birthday and you're 3, right? Bert and I bought you some things for your birthday, and we want to show you how to set up a paint palette so you can paint all by yourself. We've got some paints, we've got the palette, a brush, and this is a secret I'm going to tell you about in a minute, and some crayons in your own notebook. These are paints that I have, and I bought you some exactly like this. You'll see that if you've opened your present. And there are many different colors, and this is a palette. This is where the paint goes, and it closes up and opens up. And all these little boxes are for different colors you can put. This is where you mix the paint, and there's a place you can stick your thumb and hold your palette just like an artist. But usually I just use it flat down so it doesn't fall over. And I'm going to put blue. I've decided to do a little bit of blue, not putting as much as you might want to put. You could actually fill this whole square with this blue from the tube. And I'm going to put a little bit of red. Again, you could fill the whole square with red. If you finish painting and you don't use up all the red, that's okay. It'll dry up when you close up the cover. And then the next time you use it, you can get it wet again and it'll be just fine, just like it is the very first time. So it's okay if this paint dries out. Okay, now I want to show you about this water brush. It's very special. In fact, I just learned about it, and that's what excited me about sharing it with you. Basically, it's a brush. I take the cap off. I stick it on the back so it doesn't roll away. It's a brush up here. But all in the middle here, in the middle of the barrel of the brush, I can fill it with water. There's no water in it now, so I'm going to show you how to fill it. I'm going to unscrew the brush, and then that comes apart, and I'm going to squeeze this barrel as tight as I can, stick it in the water, and it sucks up some water. Well, it got about halfway full, so I'm going to squeeze it again, stick it under. Oh, it sucked up some more, but there's still some room I could fill with water, so I'm going to squeeze it again, quickly stick it under, and one more squeeze. There I go. I've got that barrel full of water. I'm going to screw my brush back on, and now I don't need this cup of water anymore, and I'm going to get rid of it in case it would spill, because I don't want it to spill. Now my brush is ready to paint. Okay, now I can tell you about my secret. This, which is really the top of an old sock. We took away the old worn out sock, and this is the cuff. This is my wipey cuff. I put it on my wrist, and I'm a righty, so I put it on my left wrist. And what it's good for is cleaning my brush. It's a wipey cuff. And I have all the water I need, so every time I want to clean up my brush, I don't need to wash it in water. I just do a wipey cuff. So let me show you my paint book. I have one just like that for you in your box, but this is mine. This is the end of my book. And now I've got my paints right here. And I'm going to move these. We don't need these right now, so I have plenty of room, in fact. Yeah, that's a good setup. I'm going to take some of that blue. I'm squeezing my brush, so there's a little bit of water there. If I want to get a little more water, okay. And now I can make a blue spot. Okay, well now my brush has blue on it. See all that blue? So I'm going to squeeze it and do my wipey cuff. Let me check to see if it's clean. Oh my goodness, it's all nice and clean. So now I'm going to take a little red. Squeeze a little bit. I don't want it too watery. I'm going to make a red spot. Okay, now that's pretty red, isn't it? So I'm going to clean it on my wipey cuff. You want to make some purple? Let's take a little bit of that blue and a little bit of that red. Oh, a little more red. And I use this area here, or this one here, to mix colors. And there's my purple. And I'm going to use my wipey cuff and get it clean. Okay, now I want to tell you about these crayons. Someday you may want to try them with the watercolors. They are good partners with watercolors. And what they're good for is they stop watercolor from going all over the page. Sometimes you want the watercolor to stay where it should be. So I'm going to use my red crayon to make an apple. I'm going to draw it. I'm going to press hard and make a big apple. And I'm going to make a green leaf for my apple. There it is. And I have a nice edge to my leaf and even a middle part. And I have a little bit of red down here, just 'cause, and maybe a little bit of shine place up here. And now I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to paint all inside that red apple. Ooh, 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 that shine came right through. And that edge is kind of keeping that apple all inside itself. Oh, I got to use my wipey cuff. Oh, I don't have any green. Let's make a blue leaf. And that inside part's going to show right up. See how that nice green edge keeps the leaf all in itself. I'm going to add a little shadow down here just for fun. Okay. So let's say I'm all done and I've made a couple of pictures and I'm ready to go on to something else. What I do when I want to clean up my palette is I clean up the mixing places with a little bit of a wet paper towel. I just wipe those places nice and clean. If by any chance your colors got really all mixed up, you could do a quick rinse under the faucet, but you leave the colors in the little squares and you close up the cover and they will dry up. Probably by the next time you go to paint, they will be very, very dry. They won't be wet enough to paint. So what I've done is saved you, and this is what my eye drops used to be in. I took off the label and there's just water in here. So I can put one little drop of water on each of my colors and then let them sit for a minute or two while you're filling up your brush or getting your crayons ready. And in a minute, they'll be all nice and wet and ready to use again to make a picture. And then when you're done, clean it out, close the cover, let them dry, and they're fine. If they run out completely, well, you have some more colors in your tubes. You can fill up your squares. So happy birthday. Enjoy your paints, Ellison.